Good morning, this is Onyabike Adventures. My name's Hawk, and today we have come to BMW Motorrad in Ho Chi Minh City to ride and review the BMW G310GS. Now, Onyabike Adventures run motorbike tours throughout Vietnam, and we use the Royal Enfield Himalayan for all of our tours. We believe that's the best bike for the multiple types of terrain and driving conditions in Vietnam. But there is a bike that I've been eager to come and test and see how it compares, and that is the BMW G310GS. Luckily, the guys at BMW Motorrad have said we can come and have a look at one, have a ride on one, and compare it to what we currently use. I'm really excited about this. When most people think about adventure bikes, the first thing they're going to think of is BMW. That's mainly thanks to Ewan McGregor and Charlie Borman. But to find a 310cc version of the GS is absolutely great. The normal 1200cc adventure bikes are really not appropriate for the driving conditions in Vietnam. They're just too big, too heavy. You don't need that much power, and you really don't want that much weight when you're doing off-road. But this is possibly going to be the perfect addition to adventure bike riding in Asia. Now, let's talk about the bike. First of all, it's a 313cc engine. It's the same engine as the road version of the 310, the G310R, but adapted for a more adventure off-road style. It's got an 80mm, 62mm bore and stroke, which gives it 34 horsepower. Now, not a lot of horsepower if you're looking at the world of adventure bikes, but trust me, in Asia, in Vietnam, that is more than enough. And it's got 28 Newton meters of torque, which again doesn't sound like a lot, but we'll see how it handles. 6 gears, chain drive. They're claiming a maximum speed of 140 odd kilometers per hour. I doubt we'll achieve that, but maybe we'll get something nearby. Remember that in Vietnam, the speed limits only go up to 60 kilometers per hour anyway, so that's probably more than enough. Now, what you really want on an adventure bike is great suspension. We've got upside down forks at the front here, which is a nice addition. They've got 180 millimeters of travel, and at the back you've got 180 millimeters on the monoshock. So yeah, I'm looking forward to testing that out. We'll try and find some dirt tracks and see how they can go. Now, the bike comes with a 19-inch front wheel and a 17-inch back wheel. You've got disc brakes front and back, 4 pistons on the front discs. That should give me a fair bit of grip. And you have got ABS. Now, one of the really nice features is, of course, when you can turn off the ABS. So on the left here, you've got a little button to switch off that ABS when you're going off-road, which is something that our Royal Enfields are actually missing, and so that is a nice addition. Thank you, BMW. Now, the bike itself comes in at 170 kilograms curb weights. That's before you've put your fuel and your oil in it, 170 kilograms. So that's a little bit lighter than our Royal Enfields. That should be quite nice for when we're on some gravel and when we're in the mud slipping around. The seat height is 836 millimeters or 83.5 centimeters. You can actually adjust the seat height on these bikes only by 1.5 centimeters up or down, but that's a nice little addition as well. Now, the bike has a 11-litre fuel tank, and they're claiming that you're going to get 30 kilometers per litre. I don't know that we'll be able to test that today, but that's plenty. That would give you 330 kilometers worth of driving distance, if that is correct, which in Vietnam is way more than you're going to do in a day, and certainly way more than any distance between fuel stops. So enough to keep you going. The bike is relatively small. It's 1 meter 40 wheelbase, so small, light, with good suspension, decent amount of power and torque. So you would think this will be the perfect bike for riding around in Vietnam and in Asia on multiple terrains. Let's hope that's the case. I'm looking forward to jumping on and having a ride. So enough talking, time for me to shut up and get on your bike. Okay, so here we go. We're going to start out test riding a bit of roads. First of all, the ride position. Well, this feels like a small bike. It's a little bit more cramped than I was expecting, but not horrible. Just feels small. But yeah, not uncomfortable. It sounds like trumped up hairdryer, but that's no problem. It's pretty smooth. and I'm enjoying moving around on it. Just trying the brakes, they're responsive, the front's a little grippy, which is nice. So yeah, feels smooth. I mean, very difficult to get any sort of idea from a short ride on some flat roads. Unfortunately, Saigon, Ho Chi Minh City, we don't have mountains, so I can't go and test it on what I really want, which is twisty, turny roads over big mountains. We do have some dirt tracks, so that's what we're going to head off and find. They're, again, quite tame, more green laning than off-roading. So, on the road, this bike feels like a very good small road bike. I'm actually feeling like I'm riding the R version, not the GS version. The suspension is fairly hard, not, you know, too soft and bouncy. The handling's great, yeah. I'm looking forward to getting off road and see if it really is any good on a dirt track, because it so far just feels like I'm riding a road bike. Riding around District 2 of Ho Chi Minh City. It's a very new developing area of the city where there's not a lot of traffic, which is rare to find in a 10 million people city, in a city of 10 million people. But what a beautiful skyline this city has. All these new buildings are great. So let's open it up, get up to 6th gear, see what we can really do with this thing. Nice empty road here. Well, we're easily over 100 kilometers an hour. I think I'll back off. Don't want to get myself in trouble. The speed limit here is a little bit lower than that. But that was very easy to get up to speed. Now, if you are buying a bike in Vietnam or most Asian countries, you really do have to consider the traffic. Today, this is quite quiet, really. This is a quiet area on a quiet day, and yet you've still got thousands of people on the road, and having a very small bike is a big advantage. Yes, I've got a little bit of power to get around the traffic, but you know, I can get out of second gear and use the full gear capacity. Well, this bike is very easy to ride. A lot of people who might be put off by a big 1200cc KTM or BMW or any of the other medium-sized adventure bikes that are just too high and too bulky will find this an absolute delight to ride. You don't have to be a great rider. The bike's very simple. It's got ABS or not ABS, or turn off the ABS. It doesn't have all the traction controls and balancing controls that these larger, heavier vehicles need just to keep them upright on difficult terrain. I think whether you're a beginner or advanced, this bike will suit you. It's not to say that I've given it a full test yet. Once we get off road, I'll really know how it's handling, but yeah, easy to ride, really simple. So we're on a gravel track, which is what I really wanted to test this bike out on. So a bit of soft mud and back wheel gets stuck. One of the beauties of only 170 kilograms on your bike means you can just pick it up and twist it. No way you could do this with a larger adventure bike. Lightweight wins the day. So let's see if we can get out the mud. Well, that was quite soft, that mud. And being able to turn off the ABS allows me to pull out of it with the back wheel spinning. Wow, what a ride. That was a whole lot of fun. been on roads and we've been on a bit of off-road as well. Didn't find any mountains, obviously, didn't find any twisty-turny roads, but gave the bike a damn good test, and I'm sure, as you can see, it's covered in mud. We've had a lot of fun. So how did it do? Well, on the road it handles really nicely, as good as most road bikes available in Vietnam, and off-road it was okay. Yeah, the ability to turn off the ABS, big bonus. Couldn't have done what I did today without that, but in general it's just lightweight and bounced around very nicely. The suspension was surprisingly good off-road. After being on the road and feeling it was quite hard, I wasn't expecting it to be quite so good, but it was. The weight of the bike's great. It does feel a little bit too small. When I stand up, the tank's just not quite in the right position. The handlebars feel a little bit low, but maybe as it's designed for smaller Asian guys, it's just right for them. But I'm not a big guy. I'm only 175, which is about 5'9". And for me it felt a little bit small. I am used to riding the Royal Enfield Himalayan though, so maybe that's just what I'm used to. Certainly handled well. Comfort wise, I do feel the Enfield's a little bit more comfortable, but this bike certainly is comfortable enough. Don't think I'd want to have two people on this bike. Definitely too small for that, and a little bit underpowered. But for one person riding around, mostly on road with a bit of fun off road every now and then, this could be one of the best bikes available in Vietnam. So I want to say a big thank you to BMW Motorrad in Ho Chi Minh City for lending us the bike. Now, Onyabike Adventures use the Royal Enfield Himalayan for our tours. We still believe that is the best bike for touring around Vietnam. We have tours in the north, the centre and the south, ranging from 1 day up to 21 days if you want to see the whole country. Now, we do also have some shorter tours, 1, 2 and 3 day tours for pillions, those who do not have a license and still want to go out on a motorbike adventure. They can sit on the back with one of our drivers. So guys, I hope you've liked the video. If you have, please hit the like button, and if you love motorbikes, you want to know more about Vietnam, or you just need to see more of me, hit the subscribe button and stay up to date with all of our videos. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed it. Time for me to shut up and get on your bike.